Thank you so much for having me. A couple of years ago, I was overweight. I was dressed in tracksuits pretty much every single day. And then shortly after, my mom passed away. But my mom was always the kind of person who looked amazing. Like, she was a teacher. And one day I happened to ask her when I was younger, like, why do you do this? Like, who cares, right? I really did not understand it at the time, you know? And she said to me, look, I'm a teacher. These people are looking to me as an example. At the time, I'm thinking, whatever, my mom is being ridiculous, okay? But the older I got, I really got to see the benefit of looking put together. Anytime I went out with her, I saw how she was treated. I saw how she was confident. I saw how she, presented herself in the world and how that always worked out in her favor. And I thought to myself, this is a great opportunity for me to give people something good to talk about and not look at you or like overlook you. When you're confident and you look put together, chances are, one, you're going to get treated a whole lot better. And two, you yourself, your life experience improves simply because you look and you feel good.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. Hey, the wardrobe overhaul and the redesign, does it take a lot of work? Because it means that you have to really think about that aesthetic, right? Something that you took for granted maybe earlier on in your life. You're just like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to wear tracksuits, easygoing, whatever, I'm just going to be myself. But now when you have to really think about how you want to present yourself, means there must be a mental shift somewhere there. What did it take for you to change your wardrobe? Does it start inside or does it start just with the shopping?
Well, you always have to start within, okay? I don't think it is possible to build anything without being intrinsically confident. So a lot of people, they get overwhelmed by the thought of changing their wardrobe, but you don't start there. You don't overhaul your entire wardrobe, and then that's what creates panic. Instead, what you do is you start little by little. You take you have a look at, okay, what do I like? If I'm into wide pants and maybe a lot of shirts, I can start with buying a few of those. If I also recognize that, okay, maybe the dresses are working well for me, I can start with a few of those. You must already have a few dresses, a few wide pants, or a few shirts that already work for you. You start with that little collection that you already have, and then you build from there. So overhauling your entire wardrobe is really not this big thing you need to think about. You need to think of it as editing, as opposed to you taking out all of your clothes and starting a whole new wardrobe, because that creates panic instead of you having control and systemizing your outfits over a period of time.
Sarah, let me bring you into this conversation, right? Which is fantastic. Okay, Sarah is not on the line as yet, so we'll continue with you, Tsholofelo. We're speaking about a wardrobe, right? But it didn't just start with the wardrobe. It started with something inside of you. And that is something that takes a lot of guts to say, presenting myself like this every day is a challenge, but it's also a challenge to my confidence. Let's speak about that one. How did you take that shift inside of you to build up your confidence to take on, this put together challenge?
The reality is, when I was dressed in the tracksuit pants, let's be honest, I was not confident. I did not feel good in any of those clothes. I looked sloppy. I looked like I did not care about myself. And, I think a lot of people pursue excellence as a way of life. And for me, I thought, I'm so excellent in so many areas of my life. And for some reason, this is the one area that I choose to say, I don't care about this. I'm not going to put an effort here. And so for me this is who I am first. And so that needs to showcase in every single part of my life. And that's where I took it from. And I also thought, I had kids now. I have 2 kids. And I thought, gosh, what are my kids going to think of a mother who seemingly looks like she does not care about herself? And so it all started from there. And I thought, this cannot be me, because there's areas in my life that point to excellence. This can't be where I let the ball drop. So that's where it started for me.
This is definitely a becoming conversation. Tsholofelo, we'll speak to you after the break. We're speaking to Tsholofelo Dumakude, who is joining us on the line. We're also going to be speaking to with Sarah Munyi, who is a life coach from Kenya. We're speaking about just putting your look consciously thinking about how you look every single day. And this is what Tsulu actually did. Put this look together, and she's been consistent ever since. But what does that do to your ideas of identity, a sense of confidence, and also personal growth? We'll chat a little bit more about that after the break. What do you think of this one? Do you think you can be consistent? I don't know. If I got suited up every single day like Peter Ndoro, would it ever work for me? But also, like, maybe it all starts in the mind. Maybe you can do it, like Tsulu was saying. It's just about starting with small items and thinking about it more clearly and editing how you want to be perceived by the world. Let us know on our WhatsApp number what you think about this conversation.
Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Balisa and Benjamin, fuel your day with fresh African perspective on Channel Africa.
Hey, we speak about conscious dressing today, and it's a powerful conversation about can you shift the way that you maybe are very lazy about how your sense of external looks are, because like it doesn't matter. I'm not that fashionable person. I don't care about fashion. I don't care about style. And then, think about it more intentionally, that actually how I look represents who I am. Someone who made that shift is Tsholofelo Dumakude, who's joining us on the line. And also we're joined by Sarah Munyi, who's a life coach from Kenya. Sarah, let's bring you into the conversation. Making that conscious commitment to present yourself deliberately is something that a lot of people kind of are flippant about. I know I'm like that. I'm kind of very casual about how I look on a daily basis. When you make that shift, do you think something happens? Because someone says, man, this is such a materialistic conversation.
Oh, come on. It's a materialistic conversation. Well, it's very important that you put thought into what you're wearing, because you are what we see. In branding and perceptions, we judge a book by its cover. Mm-hmm. So normally, we judge a book by its cover. And so there's a way. That's why, even I think Conman knows these days that they, for them to look smooth, for them to not be, for us not to suspect, you have to dress smart, because there's a psychology that goes into it. If you're dressed in a suit, you must be rich, you must be wealthy, you must be a person who is, sophisticated. We think highly of you. So we highly perceive you. So your clothes, your appearance matters, because we make decisions based off on what we see before you even open your mouth. Yeah, that's very important. And then, of course, now you have somebody here who's telling you about a deal of 10 million, a deal of 1 million, and you didn't dress like you don't look like the money that you didn't. You don't look like it. So definitely, it will set you off in so many ways. So and I always say, please, whether you're a professional, you're a student, you are an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you do, please dress for the occasion. Make sure you dress up to show up. Dress up to show up, because it really determines a lot how you are perceived and how we even treat you out here.
Sarah, I'm glad that you're speaking about that, because many times when we think about dressing up, we're thinking about something's happening at work, like a formal meeting, an event, a networking session, whatever it is. But we care a lot about how others perceive us. When you're taking on a challenge like this, like looking put together for a longer time, let's speak about how we perceive ourselves. Are we putting too little emphasis on how we feel, on how we perceive ourselves? And maybe that's why we want to dress well for other people, but not so much for ourselves.
You're very right. Of course, most of the time, and actually many times, even today, you wore the clothes that you wore because I'm sure you're always comfortable in your pajama, but you didn't wear your pajama because one of the things that went through your mind was, what will people think? So well, it's good to dress because you want to feel good about yourself, but you also thought about how we will perceive you. It's tantamount to saying you dressed for us. Dress to feel good about yourself. But I know at the back of your mind, you ask yourself, if I go out in my pajamas, if I go up in these shoes, I'm comfortable with this in the house, but what will people think about me if I go with this to the market? If I go with this kind of a pajama to whatever, to the office? I will not, because I don't want to offend people. I don't want people talking about me. We actually thought about them. But for me, most importantly, is dress to feel confident about yourself. And there's a way you dress and you actually feel powerful, you feel confident, you feel, yeah, today I want to meet the president. And there's another way you can feel, and you're even having a staff meeting, you don't even want to be asked to say something because you're not confident about your look, you're not confident about the shirt you're wearing, you're not confident about that dress, you're not confident, and it feels bad. So I want to insist, it's very important you dress so that you can feel good about yourself. And of course, having in mind that when I go to this kind of a setting, today I'm going to meet some business, I'll be having some business meetings. It's high level kind of, so I need to dress a certain kind of way so that I look like I cared about, and I put detail into the kind of meeting that I'm going to. That's very important. And then to add to this, I want to say, branding and perception is not just about what you're wearing. There are things that are speaking before you speak. Anytime you appear somewhere, of course, your clothes, we are going to make a lot of, your clothes definitely are saying a whole message about you. But the second thing, your attitude, the kind of attitude that you're wearing.
Absolutely.
The kind of attitude.
Yeah.
It's speaking before you open your mouth.
Okay, that's a good point that you're making there. Let's speak about that with you, Tsulu. When you made that shift from being just like, okay, whatever, and you became more conscious about how you dress, did that shape the way that you thought of yourself and how you see yourself?
So I always thought of myself as a confident person, although I didn't kind of bring that out in the world. But what I will say is that I noticed a huge difference in how I was treated when I dressed better, when I presented myself more confidently, when I spoke more confidently versus when I didn't. When I went to the shops, a great example is there are people to this day, and I still go to the same shops where I get my coffee or get my groceries. They don't remember how they used to treat me. They can't even recognize that I'm the same person that they used to treat horribly 3 years ago. And so as much as we'd like to think that it does not matter, it really does matter. And at the end of the day, this is the world. This is the real world, and we have to play by the world's rules. You can have your own rules, but then you have to suffer the consequences of whatever those rules are if they don't fit into kind of how society thinks. Yes, it's good and well to have your own confidence and be self-assured, but you can't ignore that is also how the world works. And so part of you having a pleasant experience in the world involves you playing by some of the rules of the world.
Yeah, I think that's such a powerful thing that you've said there. And Sarah, coming back to you as we're about to wrap this conversation, I want to get your thoughts on, maybe there's someone who's saying, guys, I'm struggling with this one. I don't think much about clothes. I didn't think it was this important. How do they make that shift?
I want to say life is serious business, and take yourself very seriously. Take yourself very seriously. Take your job, whatever you're doing, very seriously, and especially the way you dress. And it's good you look at your wardrobe, and there's no problem doing an overhaul. Do an overhaul if you need to, and if you really need to elevate even the kind of people you meet, the kind of people you interact with. You want to elevate yourself. Start with doing an overhaul of your wardrobe, so that when you show up in a place, you show up. Somebody just pulled in, somebody just showed up, and you will notice something. People start to treat you with a lot of respect. People start to treat you with a lot of honor, because people take you seriously, like an important person, because they can see you also take yourself very seriously. You always giving the world the best example of how to treat you. So, and we can tell in the way you showed up, in the way you put effort into coming to this event. It was an all-white event. Clearly, why did you assume it was not? And you saw that on the invite. It was a black tie event. You just came in a casual something. and you don't look like you're part, you look you're part of this, it's very important. We take you seriously. It's about you being taken seriously.
Love that.
It's about you being taken seriously.
Yeah.
And you should be taken seriously.
Well, thank you so much to both of you ladies. You are documenting your own journey of being put together, Tsholo, and many other things on your social media handles. Let us know what they are.
People can find me at Tsholofelo Dooms on both Instagram and TikTok, but I'm primarily on TikTok, and I talk about being put together and how to slowly edit your wardrobe so you don't feel overwhelmed.
Love that. Thank you so much for joining us. Sarah, where can we find you?
Thank you.
You can find me on TikTok, Sarah Munyi. You can find me on Facebook for Sarah Munyi. You can find me on YouTube, Sarah Munyi. I'll be very happy to interact with you. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
Lovely. Thank you so much, ladies. Tsholofelo Dumakude and Sarah Munyi, who's a life coach in Kenya, speaking about being put together and how that reveals something about your identity, your confidence, and your personal growth. Let us know what you think about that one. +2783 288 6684. It's 10:30. Time for our sports.
Sports.